herself, the queen bee, Beyonce, and everyone's just bowing at the grace of this moron as she's standing there with a cape on, and you're just like, yeah, she's just another asshole that sings better than you do. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing spectacular about her. Kanye West got up, and I was reading stories over the weekend about his performance. They had no idea what he was going to do. He wouldn't do rehearsal, and he was there to introduce his new video, which was just some, like, almost naked chick just writhing around in, like, a jail cell or something. It was kind of dumb, but sort of hot, too. But they're like, oh, yeah, we don't know what he's going to do. He's got 4 minutes or 4 minutes, 15 seconds. He can perform a song. He can do poetry.
Spoken
word. He could stand in silence if he wants for 4 minutes. It's like, okay, so what's Kanye going to do to take it to that next level where everyone's talking about him the next day?
So what do you do? I'm dying.
Well, not much. He just went up and kind of rambled and did his whole, bruh. He's talking to people that are yelling shit out in the crowd. They're acting like he's literally Jesus walking on water. These fans and viewers just treating this asshole like he's king of the world, and he's just dumb.
Yeah, why can't we all agree to be completely done with him?
I don't know.
This whole pop-up store thing that happened in, quote, Detroit, right? Wasn't that at Lakeside Mall?
Oh, did he?
A couple weeks ago or last week?
Oh, did he do a record release thing?
No, just a pop-up store with, like, clothing and shit.
Ugh, his clothing is terrible.
Well, that's what I heard, too. That, you know,
it's awful, dude.
Just selling the T-shirt or whatever with, you know, whatever his print that he designed, and people are paying an arm.
And it's like a white T-shirt. His shoes are like $1,200. It's like he did a whole collection of just tan. It looked like it belonged in Desert Storm. It looked like the undergarments that military members would wear in Desert Storm.
Yeah.
And he's doing a fashion show with these models. It looked ridiculous.
Yeah, he's important because we've all, I guess, agreed to go along with the fact that he's important. Let's all agree to take that away. I'm sick of that.
I would
dude.
love to do that because he didn't get up and say anything like revealing or well thought out or important or smart. It wasn't anything except just kind of, you know, brah, I love all of you, brah. Come on, brah. Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck are you cheering for? What are we cheering for? I don't understand it.
The kids.
I feel like an old man saying that. But, dude, I just so miss the days of, you know, okay, 5 guys on a stage with plugged-in guitars, and they just go and they show off their talent. And I'm not saying Kanye doesn't have talent as a producer or as a rapper, whatever, but go do that. That's what you do. Go do that. No one is here to hear you go.
That's harder to do, though, than to get up and just go, bro.
22 people were killed in Chicago last weekend. Bruh.
Yeah.
I love all of y'all, bruh. You're like, yeah, okay, great. Spit out Black Lives Matter, I suppose. Yeah, there's what he said if you care to read it. But, yeah, he wants people to understand how blessed we are. It's an expression of our now, our fame right now, us inside of the TV. You know, just to put the audacity to put Anna Wintour next to Donald Trump. I mean, like, I put Ray J in it, brah. This is fame, brah. Like, I see you, Amber. He's pointing out people. Like, just a rambly mess of shit that gets passed off as entertainment nowadays. I don't understand it. And the other thing that's kind of driving me nuts are the musicians and athletes of the world that feel like a political statement is necessary.
Kaepernick? Is that where we're going?
Kaepernick, yeah. More.
What a dumb fucker.
I just don't. Like, dude, do what you do. You throw a ball better than I can. Just do that. You run faster. You run like a deer, and you can throw the ball 70 yards. Now go do that.
It's our fault, man. I mean, our American society's fault for idolizing these assholes. We empower them.
I know. And I don't know what... I don't see it changing, but it's...
We can all agree on this.
Yeah, and maybe it's social media, but it seems like it's worse now, where everybody has to have a voice to do their thing.
No, you're right. Social media is a huge part of it.
Yeah, where, you know, these people have millions of followers and people are hanging on their every word and it gets reported on. And to me, it's like, dude, can nobody just pick up a guitar and be that? Like, that's what you are. You're probably a dumb shit anyways. If you're an athlete, no offense, or if you're a musician, no offense, but you're probably not the expert that we should all be following their every word on. Like, you know, you're great at strumming that guitar. You were blessed with an amazing voice. Go do that.
Mike, you want to see the talent and not the celebrity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't remember feeling that way when I was younger. Maybe I'm just an
No,
old
I think
man
the,
now.
the celebrity part of the equation is jacked up over the last 10 years, for sure.
I mean, this is, 3 days now, the reporting on Kaepernick?
I don't know.
Because
I just heard about it this morning.
I know.
So the
you were
son
busy.
of a bitch didn't stand for the national anthem.
Yeah.
Apparently. Okay.
And so he said he's not backing down. He's standing his ground and will not stand for the Star Spangled Banner unless he feels the flag represents what it's supposed to represent. As if you're ever going to get to a point where it's just nirvana.
Right.
In any country in the world, it's just perfect. We've figured it out. All the problems are gone, so you're just not going to stand until then.
And with Kurt Cobain gone, I mean, how are we going to achieve that?
We're not. It's a great point, and we're not. He knows he could be cut by San Francisco and lose sponsors as a result of his stand, but he remains defiant. Yeah, well, he's already signed a $140 million contract.
To sit the bench, right?
Yeah, he's going to sit the bench. Blaine Gabbert's going to start in San Francisco. He's looked like shit in his brief appearances for them. The other problem with stories like this is he claims that he doesn't plan for this to be a distraction. Well, the problem, Colin, is it's not your call what's declared a distraction. This is a distraction. This is taking away from the season opener coming up in a week, and your team's going to suck balls anyways. The last thing they need is this shit. Because what happens is every reporter in the Bay Area and nationally is in the locker room asking every other player on the team and every staff member for their comment about your antics.
Yeah, what a moron. You're taking a public stand on something, or in this case, a public sit.
Yeah.
And you're claiming that, did you just think that would be a personal kind of statement that you're making? No, you're making it so that people realize it. You're dumb enough to think that it's not going to become an issue in the locker room?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And of course it does. And, everybody's got to take this really progressive hands-off approach, and the NFL's got to come out with a statement and go, well, it is his right. People have fought for his right.
Well, we may not agree with it. Well, it is his right.
Yeah, we're
well,
proud
it's
of
our
him.
right to fucking hate this guy now.
Yeah, and the people burning his jersey.
Good for them.
I agree. I hate the distraction that it becomes, and honestly, I was trying to express it a little bit last night, but the message seems very hollow to me when you're like, I don't like the treatment of people of color in this country.
Right. He's just completely vague, and he didn't even articulate it well. Like, I heard a little blurb. I'm like, dude, come on, you got to come stronger than that.
Yeah.
You got to have a statement and a solution that you want to see. Mm-hmm. It's just some vague thing. Like, when did you decide to do this, man? Was this just off the cuff?
Yeah.
You think this through, you son of a bitch?
Obviously not. And the problem that so many people have in jumping on board that may want to go, yeah, like to me personally, if this was about, if someone had the balls to stand up and go, the inner city violence that is taking down black lives at the hands of black people has got to stop, and we as a country are uniting around these neighborhoods to do what we can, and I'm not standing for the national anthem until we take this problem seriously. Like, I'd have a much easier time getting around something like that. But when you see thousands of black lives that apparently matter taken down to Chinatown at the hands of other black people, it's like, no, we don't want to talk about those black lives. We want to talk about the isolated incidents of police brutality. And it seems like a hollow sentiment to do this, to try to compare yourself to real problems with brutality and discrimination from the 50s and 60s.
And as my man is sitting there making $12,500 a year or something, plus $125,000 for every game that he starts or some shit, it's really easy, right, to take a sit in this instance.
Yeah.
It's really easy to do that.
Yeah.
Fucker. Hey, you mentioned China a moment ago, and specifically Chinatown.
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you this. I was driving home last Sunday after the show.
You didn't go to China last week,
I didn't
did
go
you?
to China.
Okay. Phew.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I was driving home last Sunday after the show, and as I oftentimes do, gave Gab a... God damn it.
Yeah. Do you have a cough button?
Gave Gab a call to see what she was up to, because I sort of missed the whole day. The way China comes into this, I know her brother-in-law just got a Chinaman.
Wait.
Yeah, exchange student.
Oh, okay, cool.
So she was headed over there to meet the exchange student, Long Duck Dong, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, how'd that go? And she's like, oh, that was fine, but I'm really mad right now. I'm like, what's going on? Well, I was just at the police station. I'm like, oh, shit, you get in an accident or something? She took Russell in.
What? Wait a minute. Wait, she took Russell to the police station. Why?
Took Russell in. On the way home from seeing the Chinaman, apparently they got in a discussion about social media. And we've been having some issues without going into the weeds on it too much.
Yeah.
Russell's been having some issues with
I imagine every parent listening right now is having these
truthfulness on how much he's using, certain apps and all this shit. And long and the short of it is she discovered that he had lied again about social media use. And so it's her, Russell, and Sweet Pie.
Sweet Pie visiting the police station.
She's like, I was furious. I was absolutely furious. I'm driving home, and I see the Oakland County Sheriff off to my right, and I pull in. I'm like, why? She goes, I was just so mad. I wanted to somehow teach him a lesson, and I wanted them to put him in jail. I go, well, you know they can't do that. She's like, I know that. That's like reason speaking, but at the time I was just so angry. And she's like, I pull in, and I said, get out. I said, did he? And she's like, no. I'm like, well, did you pull him out? Or did you kick him out the door? What'd you do? She's like, no, he wouldn't get out, obviously, on his own. So I saw a couple cops in the corner of the parking lot talking. And so I went up to him. I left Russell and Sweet Pie in the car, and I went up to him, and they're like, yeah, can I help you, ma'am? And she's like, yeah, I've got a son who needs to learn a lesson. Can you guys help me out? And they're like, yeah, absolutely. What do you do? And she's like,
Is he privy to this conversation?
No, he's sitting in the truck at this point. And she's like, yeah, he's been lying about social media use and, this and that. And one guy's like, absolutely. He's like, meet me inside. Just go around the other way. I'll be in a second.
They love this shit.
Yeah. So she wishes she would have got his name because she said he was an awesome guy. I mean, she sat down with him, and he did the whole like scared straight kind of thing.
Yeah.
Brought Russell in, hand on the gun and all this shit, sort of just in his face for a little bit, and then back off and tell him really seriously why lying is bad and this and that. And you got to respect your parents and all this stuff. So I think it was a good message, and she just thought it was so cool that they took the time out to do that. Like, it takes a village, Mike. As you know.
Yeah, I do. Did I ever tell you about the time my mom did that to me? My mom.
Shit. My mom doesn't work.
You're right. Yeah, you're in trouble for the long haul. But my mom did the exact same thing to me. So tell Gab that she's not the first to try this.
The Livonia PD.
Livonia PD. My mom, first off, told on me. Me and a friend stole some candy from the Brock's thing in the grocery store. Yep. And she reported us to the manager. I still haven't forgiven her for that. As we're walking through the aisles up to the manager's office upstairs, unloading Brock's candies into the banana section. So we're making our way through the aisle.
Yeah, I remember that bulk Brock's that was all in every Chatham or whatever.
Exactly. There'd be mints, and then there'd be caramels, whatever, all types of shit. So there was that time when I was probably 7 or 8 years old, maybe a little older than Sweet Pie.
Wow, so you learned early on that you cannot trust your mom.
Exactly, that she's not friendly fire.
She's not on your team.
And then I'd have to ask her exactly what I did, but it probably had something to do with being, not listening or maybe lying
being
or
dick.
Skipping a class or something. I was probably Russell's age, probably. Well, maybe a little. How old is Russell now?
Am I looking at the future of Russell?
You might be.
God damn it!
No, he's doing better in school than I did.
Oh shit!
I was probably 12, maybe 13.
Although I told Mike last week when he was over here doing the weeds, and there was a little discussion of how the weeds were going. I said his way of getting around things or responses to how I would say things are
pretty similar to Mike.
Could be like E.
I was gonna say me.
Oh shit! He's a mix between you assholes.
He's a mix.
Like the line.
Ta-da!
There was the
Look
thing,
what you produced. Look at it, poops.
There was the thing where it said something about I guess it was well, he tried to say I did these ones over here or these ones over here, and I was like, yeah, those are things I would kind of try. Well, just
try to deflect the tension.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, he knows all the tools.
So my mom dragged me to the police station, Livonia Police Station. I was probably, like I said, 12, maybe 13 years old. And I mean, on totally trumped up charges, by the way. I mean, I hadn't broken into the neighbor's house or something. It was literally I wasn't listening to my mom or I lied about something.
Yeah.
Shit that you wouldn't normally involve law enforcement with. And I can't, for years, I remember this cop's name. It was Dan something, I think, with the Livonia PD, and he took me into his office with my mom. So obviously this was set up beforehand, and he did the scared straight thing with me. and fucking, he was like, I'm not fucking around, Mike. This is getting real. Now, if I had any sense or wits, I would have known this is bullshit. You can't lock a kid in jail for being a dickhead to his parents. It's not how this works. But I didn't have that
You
capacity.
didn't know about your due process rights.
I had no idea. They actually cuffed me at one point. I was cuffed. I might have even been fingerprinted.
I would love to see the form your mom had to sign for this.
Back then, she probably didn't.
Yeah, true.
But he sat me down and was like, he was like, well, it's going down now. We're beyond the point of return now, and you're going to juvie. You're going to juvenile hall. And I was just stoic, pissed but stoic.
Yeah.
I wasn't crying.
Stared him down. You son
And
of
I was
a
like,
bitch.
okay. And he says, and that's not going to be fun. There are some rough characters in there. My advice to you, he said, they make shanks in there.
It's always the same and always different. There's always a bunch of naked guys having a wonderful time together.
He actually told me this, dude, that they make shanks in there, and there's a good possibility I could get shanked in juvenile hall. I should have been thinking, well, isn't that your job to make sure that doesn't happen to me? I am a prisoner in your care at this point.
Yeah.
But he didn't care about that. So he warned me that I'd probably be knifed, and then he said, the other thing is some of the older kids looking to have a little fun. So I would recommend that you sleep with your back to the wall. I'll never forget the way he phrased it. I would
Docking is the insertion of one man's glands into the foreskin of another's.
And so he's like, well, I guess we're done here, and I'm handcuffed at this point, sitting in front of him. He says,
12.
do you have any last words to your mom before we take you down to City Hall or wherever and book you into juvenile hall? And I just looked at him and I went, no. And he went, Mike, I think this is an opportunity you should take to apologize to your mother. And at that point I knew that son of a bitch ain't taking me anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
And so I gave some half-hearted bullshit apology to my mom, and then he said, well, this is your warning. You're very lucky today. I mean, I should be taking you down there, but I'm going to let you off with a warning this time. And so we get out to the parking lot, and my mom sits down in the car, and I sit down in the passenger seat. She's like, well, what'd you think of him? I said, I thought he was an asshole. And she goes, you want to go back in and talk to him? She starts to get out of the car. I'm like, no. I'm good. I actually said that. He was an asshole, a 12-year-old kid. Just terrible.
I had a friend that actually did go through kind of the scared straight. He had it was not for anything like he had just been making like prank calls, I think, and stuff or whatever, and he kind of got caught. But the funny thing was like the guy yelling at him would just be like, well, I just got off the phone with your grandpa and he's disappointed in you or something. And he's like, my grandpa died like 2 years ago.
Oh,
and,
you
like,
got to be
just,
careful with the grandpa card.
Like he was making like very specific like
Lost credibility like that.
Yeah, talking about his job. He's like, yeah, and your boss doesn't want you to come back on Monday or something. And it was just like,
Friend's like, I haven't been employed in 5 years.
Right. It was just like really ridiculous. Like you got to be non-specific, I feel like, with these yelling things, right? Like
No,
you can't use a relative.
That must be a nice distraction to an ordinary day for a cop. The guy's driving around all day or dealing
No, that's
with
what
this or
Gab
that.
said. He was like his eyes lit up. He's like, oh yeah, meet me around front. I'll be there in a second.
Do you think it had any effect? I'm sorry if I asked you this. Do you think it had any effect on Russell?
I think a little bit. I mean, the guy went through the whole. He didn't go like specifically into you're going to juvie kind of threat thing, but he did go through the whole thing. Like first the lie starts out like this, seems innocent, gets worse and worse. Eventually, you lie, you end up in jail. And guess what? When you're in jail, we don't give a shit about you. Nobody gives a shit about you. This and that. And he described the whole thing for him, so it's got to have some effect. But
you know what? I've carried that story my entire life, and I honestly believed the guy at the time, and it definitely was like, fuck, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to go there again. So whether it has an effect on Russell, who knows? But I definitely remembered that and knew my mom wasn't to be fucked with, that she'd actually go through with it. Damn it, they tried. Someone who sounds like they might need some jail is your boy Keith Appling.
oh my gosh, man!
What is going on with him?
The third time with a weapon in the last year or something.
Yeah.
6 months.
He got popped last night on Detroit's east side. He was arrested for the third time this year for a gun charge. He was driving a 2013 Dodge Charger, a blue Dodge Charger, and an officer spotted him. Some sort of traffic violation, whether he rolled through a stop sign or whatever. I'm not sure what he did, but
He drove while black.
Could be that, yeah.
They know his car, I'm sure. He's
yeah.
He's been busted in the last 6 months twice with the same car.
Yeah, you would think they would start to know the car, but the cop gets up to the window and notices a strong scent of weed, of course, and coming from the car, and so that's when he's like, driver's license, all that shit. The officer reached inside the Challenger to get the license, and at that point, Appling rolled up the window and drove off with the cop's arm in there. He was able to get his arm out. And
I would think, I mean, you're like pulling the button. It won't go any faster. It's not like the old days where you could crank it really fast.
yeah, crank.
No, he's going,
Hold on, my arm's still in there. My arm's still in there. Don't you dare. Don't even think about it. Oh, no, now I'm caught. So he was able to get his arm away. Yeah, you're right. That probably is kind of trumped up a little bit.
Yeah.
My arm got caught. Thank God I was able to pull it out of the way.
barely.
By the way, if Gab had whipped into a police station with Russell and tried this event downtown Detroit at one of their precincts, I don't know that they would have taken the time to deal with that.
Yeah.
The same.
Sort of have bigger issues than maybe up where living is a vacation.
Exactly. So the officer was able to free himself and pulled away. Officers pursued the vehicle and took him into custody without incident. At this point, an officer involved in the initial stop noticed that a Gucci bag in the back seat was no longer there. Yes. They backtracked. They found the bag, which contained a blue semi-automatic Beretta with 10 live rounds inside on the side of the road. Yeah. Appling was arrested for fleeing and eluding, carrying a concealed weapon. The weed was never recovered, so obviously chucked out the window. May 1st. So, yeah, this is what sucks about so many of these traffic stops or incidents that should go one way and end up going another way. When you've got illegal shit in your car and you know you're looking at serious problems,
Might as well try it,
it's
right?
like, fuck it, dude, floor it, get out of here. Let me see if I can ditch this thing really quick and not face those charges. And then all bets are off. Once you do that, all bets are off. On May 1st, Dearborn police responded to a call at the Pantheon Club. Security officers observed allegedly a man pulling a gun out of the trunk of a car in a parking lot. Police arrived, saw Appling in the driver's seat of the car, as the guy that security had described. After a search, police say they found a handgun under the driver's seat, marijuana, and a loaded weapon in the trunk. Then on June 18th, police arrested Appling after officers stopped a fast-driving Charger on 7 Mile. At Hannah and East 7 Mile, officers saw Appling place a weapon under a seat. They found a 40 cal Smith & Wesson under the passenger seat. The gun doesn't belong to Appling, but rather to a previous passenger of the vehicle.
Time to reevaluate priorities, I think,
Yeah.
if you're Mr. Appling. You know, I sort of harken back to when you and I were running around in high school and, you
Yeah.
know, getting the share of MIPs and dumb shit. You know,
Yeah.
we talked about the incident where we frequented a place of illegal activity, allegedly.
Yeah.
Had guns to our heads.
Oh, yeah.
All that shit. So, we had our share of tickets and this and that. And, you know, then you're young and it's like, you know, you can pay the fine, you do this, you do that. But eventually you hit one, and I think we both probably hit one,
Yeah.
where you go, okay, this is serious enough where I've got to
I'm
change my
affecting
tune
my
a little
future
bit.
if I'm not careful.
Got to change my tune a little bit, and you do that. It's like, dude, why? It's just remarkable. I guess it's the maturity process of everybody. It happens at different times, and that you could do that if you're him, because you're so far from a guy like an NBA star or some shit that can just pay the money and get out. He's
Yeah.
so far from that. He's D League, low level player at best.
Yeah.
And so you're a guy who's looking at, dude, I got to work like an honest job in the future. And here I am at 24 years old getting weapons charges every 6 months. Come on, man.
Yeah, or every 4 months. I mean, it just doesn't make sense because when you're someone like Keith Appling, you don't need to be an NBA star. If you're Keith Appling and you're a D1 star, you've got opportunity in front of you.
Dude, go sell pharmaceuticals.
You can. There are a ton of people who will give you an opportunity to do whatever you choose.
There are
in
guys
life.
like that all over the world selling, you know, and
Yeah.
just as using their name to get in the door to places
Did
like
he win
that.
a title?
I don't remember.
He was on some great teams.
Yeah.
Regardless, I mean, some Final Four teams.
No. He didn't win a title. That was back. No, he's been in the last 4 years.
Was he 2014?
5 years. Yeah, he didn't win
Somewhere
a title.
like-
He's been to
okay.
Final Fours.
Yeah. But it seems like, like, dude, you got to at some point get out of your own way. If you're running, like these guys running around with illegal guns, I just don't understand it. Like, what is the scenario that's going to play out where, thank God you had that in your car?
But
And-
that's the environment they're in, right? So you got to look at it and go, come on, Keith, man, you got this resume. And
Yeah.
your point is, you got to look at it reasonably and go, all right, I'm not going to be in the NBA, so what do I do next? Do I hang around the old neighborhood and carry a gun and smoke weed and drive around in what right now is kind of a cool car,
Yeah.
I guess, relatively speaking,
Sure.
and be kind of a big shot Keith Appling? Or do I fucking move forward and mature,
Yeah, and it's sad because of the opportunity. There are plenty of guys who are stuck in a life and in a place that they can't get out of, or they don't know any different. A guy like Keith Appling knows the other side and has the opportunity to get out of the other side, and that's what's frustrating. Where it's like, dude, you're a guy with fans. You're a guy with credentials.
Yeah.
You're a guy that it's going to make headlines in the paper, in national papers, when you get busted for doing dumb shit. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me, but it's clearly not sinking in with him. What's it going to take? I mean, the next article you're going to read is he's doing 10 years for an illegal weapons charge.
Ugh.
Yeah. I don't know. Unfortunately, the problem is some people never learn their lesson. Some people learn later in life, as we've seen time and time again. Someone like Anthony Weiner.
Third time,
Anthony.
Oh, Wiener. I love this story because it's Huma connected.
Yeah.
Like if this is so remarkable that he is the husband of Huma Aberdeen,
Yeah.
the top staff member to Hillary
Top.
Clinton. Yeah.
Dude, she's going to be White House representative.
Yeah, I mean Hillary has described her as like a second daughter.
Yeah. I just don't I swear to God, I'd love to talk to a therapist of some sort and go, what is this?
It's clearly an addiction. The guy is
what do you-
sociopathic.
But what are you addicted to? Like, it's not unless there's some high you're getting from the danger of it. I don't
The
understand.
Carlos danger of it.
Yes. I mean, I get it. Okay, you have an addiction to heroin. You have an addiction to alcohol. Something where you're ingesting something in your body and it makes you feel different, and you go, okay, you can't get over that addiction, and it's a battle.
Maybe that sexual scenario does that for him. Same kind of chemical.
Okay, and maybe it just doesn't register.
I don't
me.
get
I don't
the
mean
whole
to belittle
sexual
it.
addiction thing. I mean, I
Yeah.
like banging just like the next guy.
Yeah.
But
But if you were some gross dude with no game and could never get a chick, you know what I mean, and didn't have access to, who knows where you would, how you would,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
It's easy to stand on the mountaintop getting closet time, on a regular
se-
basis.
7 to 9 minutes whenever I want it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Being that guy and going, well, how dare you? Speaking of which, someone sent us some anal bleach.
Really? Okay.
Yes, it
that must be
arrived.
Joe. Joe
Yeah.
asked if that arrived. Thank
I
you,
heard.
Joe.
I heard. By the way, I was
Did you
talking.
crack it open?
I didn't. I haven't given it to E or anything yet, but it's in a box upstairs. He also sent maybe a fake vagine.
Ah,
Yeah.
the pocket poussé,
Yeah, it's just some.
the flashlight.
It's sort of fleshlighty without the flashlight look to it. But
Okay.
yeah, it's a sleeve of sorts.
E,
I haven't seen it at all, so I.
but you'll do it, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
I
of course
guess,
you will.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I will do it because of the. I honestly, I'm being serious. I would do it to talk about the show, and I get that. Out of the people who would do it, probably be me. That's kind of my thing here. But I don't really have.
Wait, didn't you? Weren't we going around the room the other day asking like, "Would you do it? Would you?"
Yeah,
do it?
yeah. I think we all said in some way.
Why the hell would I have to do that?
Well,
Why
yeah,
the hell would you have to do that?
you wouldn't, but for the gag of it, I suppose. Why not?
Well, unless
but-
he sent 3 of them,
You don't want to share? You
Right.
can go first.
getting sloppy thirds.
I'm not going in after someone else either myself.
Can you imagine having to share one of those? Oh my God!
People have sent us rubber fists.
Yeah.
Like big rubber fists. Did you try that one, by the way?
No, I did not.
You didn't? It's still
But
in
it
there
has
if
a
you want. It's in
natural
the
lube.
box. It does?
Yeah,
Kind of slimy. It's in there if you want. E, but
Okay, good
there's
to
and now this. So
But my
I did hear, by the way, I talked to Helm last week, and he said he's like 99% sure that it's illegal to do the anal bleaching in Michigan.
What?
Yeah. I don't know why, but it's big on the
is it one
east
of
and
those
west
old
coast.
rules or something where it's like
I don't know. He said I'm almost positive it's illegal to perform to go to a place
Yeah,
and have them
spot.
perform the service. I don't know if that's true,
we've
but
got a jar of it and a tongue depressor, so get ready, E.
yeah.
diaper
Sarah was
changing
pretty excited
mode
too,
Yeah,
so-
that's what I heard.
But dude, I just want to say, like, I said I would do it, but honestly, I don't have the desire to actually, like, on my own get a fleshlight and sit at home and be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, wait
hands
till you
just
try
right.
it. Have you ever tried anything like that, E? Maybe you'll love it. This could be the answer to your solution to your problems about, like, dude, I don't even need a chick anymore. This is awesome.
Mike's righty.
No, I guess that's possible.
Yeah.
I don't see it being the case.
Like maybe you
personally.
could like bury it between two cushions on the astronomy
Hell
couch
yeah.
or something. Just insert and go to town. Just picture him.
Just take a pillow with a white pillowcase and draw a smiley face on it. Put a little wig on it. Yeah, lady, how you doing?
I mean, I guess
Pumping away this made in China piece of plastic.
Get some water balloons, throw them in the middle,
Yeah.
and then just go to town. Why not?
I could say the same to you.
I know, but I've got Beth. I
But
don't
what
really.
if that didn't happen? Why? But why?
But if he didn't have
you-
Beth, he'd have someone else.
But
Yeah.
no, but why have someone else? Why not just?
Well, because it's a human. And
Yeah.
he can.
Yeah, and that's
You
where
can't.
my life experience is right now.
But I
This has
can-
led me to here where
but I
I have
can-
that. If I didn't have that as an option, if it was off the table like it is for you, I might weigh
Who
that
knows?
option. See, I don't know where I'd be, but
Okay, well.
we're in different places. Just saying. Anyway, back to Anthony Weiner. It is remarkable that the stories that keep coming out why don't those sting Huma Abedin more and the Clinton campaign?
Just got to drop this dude.
mean,
That is unbelievable, man. This guy has major issues.
Yeah.
A great movie too, by the way.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
If you haven't seen it yet, go see it.
He's been sexting with a busty brunette out west. Even sent her a crotch shot with his toddler son in the picture. I think
Wait,
it's the
what?
New York Post. Yeah. I think it's the New York Post that has the pictures. Just do Wiener, news.
What, like his kid's in the background and
his
he's
kid's sleeping in bed next to him, and he's got his
that's deviant, dude.
and he's got his like jockey shorts on with his dick. You could tell it's semi-hard.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think what happened was he was in the middle with this chick, and then the kid crawled into bed with him, and he's like, "Oh, look who showed up." So it wasn't like he was getting it on with his kid.
Sure, but that kind of takes it to a whole new level, man, having a
Yeah.
picture like that.
You would think then it would be time to put the phone down and like address the child that
Right.
just walked into the room. He sent the photo while discussing massage parlors shortly after 3 a.m. on July 31st, 2015. Wiener was clearly aroused by the conversation with the 40-something divorcee, and that's when he changed the subject. Oh, someone just climbed into bed. She's like, really? Wiener then hit send on the image, which shows the bulge in his boxer briefs and his son cuddled up to his left. You do realize you can see your wiener in that pic, she wrote. He's like, ooh, I was scared. For half a second, I thought I posted something. Stop looking at my crotch. Yeah, there you go.
God, this guy, man. Look at him.
She wrote, Wiener wrote back, stop looking at my crotch. She wrote, well, whatever, you did it on purpose. This chick is, by the way, a big fan of Donald Trump and the NRA. Screenshots show the electronic chats began in January of 2015 with this girl and continued through this month. So this isn't something like this movie's coming out. That should
Yeah,
be
it's-
humiliating. Humiliating.
He has major mental issues.
She says they've never met. Wiener admitted he and the woman, we've been friends for some time. She's asked me not to comment, except to say that our conversations were private, often included pictures of her nieces and nephews and my son, and were always appropriate. I would argue that one that we saw was not,
Correct.
I mean,
It's all relative. But
yeah, I just don't think that's appropriate personally, and I think almost everything's appropriate. And even I would look at that picture and go, yeah, that's not appropriate. The picture featuring his son was one of more than a dozen selfies sent to the woman by Wiener, most of them show him posing shirtless. He's really
Sure,
proud of his
loves
body.
that.
Loves the abs, the six-pack. One of even a near-replica crotch shot that first turned him into a national laughingstock. Wiener wrote, my mood, before sending the sexual photo in June. Oh, goodness, she wrote. Many of the messages show him bragging about his manhood and shamelessly lusting after the chick. She mentioned having over 30 nieces and nephews, at which point Wiener responded by asking, wow, got your own? Wiener sees opening to ask about your status. When she tried to end the conversation, it's time for bed, he wrote, sleeping alone? Asking for a friend. That was a fib. He's a dork, too.
yeah, man.
Weiner frequently steered the conversation towards sex. They'd be talking about their workout regimens or something. He's like, yeah, I'm always raging at the gym. Another time, he wrote how I'd put someone's eye out with this thing, #overdue. When the woman she did send him some, like cleavage with her titties hanging out and some lacy shit. His response was, holy fuckity fuck. Holy fuckity fuck. I can't take it. And then she showed one where she's got her like tights on or something, and there's like a hole in the butt in the ass area, and he wrote, "I'll need a bigger hole," because he's so
enormous
that he can't get through there. Another one he was talking about being horny as fuck. God, this guy's unbelievable. Danger.
You suppose Huma's just completely written him off, and just for political reasons, it's just. All right, weighing, is it worse to cut ties with this guy right now in the middle of this, or to continue on and let him embarrass me? There has to be some of that weighing, right?
I don't know. It does feel very Bill and Hillary like, where...
But they're not like a power couple with a future,
yeah.
Right? He's not going anywhere.
No.
He had his thing.
Yeah, there's no coming back now from this, right? There must be something... to the spotlight nature of it. Like he's clearly a guy that needs
the spotlight.
He can't wait to be out on a gay parade waving the flag and kissing babies. Like he loves that shit. He loves being in front of a microphone. He loves being in front of a camera anywhere he can get it. And being a stay-at-home dad is probably killing him. It's killing him. And so maybe he doesn't give a shit when this stuff comes out. It's just a weird outlet. Like you're not with these girls.
Yeah.
What,
I'm trying to decide if this is real, but it looks like it is to me.
Oh, E.
This just happened today.
Statement from Huma. After long and painful consideration and work on my marriage, I've made the decision to separate from my husband. Anthony and I remain devoted to doing whatever is best for our son, who is the light of our life. During this difficult time, I ask for respect for our privacy.
Wow. Well, let's go to...
well, that's a reasonable response, I would say,
and
by Huma.
This guy was that tweeted it, and he works at MSNBC.
Yeah, it's tweeted by a dude from MSNBC.
Let's see what Huma's actually says. So she's still tweeting about other stuff.
Okay, well...
I don't know.
Here, I'll look for it.
Yeah, look for it. Go ahead. Did you want to do a read, Jay?
Sure. It's been 2 beautiful hot summer months, and now Zott Ford is offering 2 beautiful hot summer deals to our TDC listeners. Right now, and only at Zott Ford in Halley, you can lease either a 2017 Ford Fusion or 2017 Ford Escape for just $133 per month for only 24 months. That's right, a new Ford Fusion or Ford Escape, your choice, and both are just $133 per month. Hurry to Zott Ford at I-75 and exit 98. Pick your funky, fresh new Fusion or Escape. Ride home with a smile. Get all details at ZottFord.com. Speaking of Zott, Gab, me, and Gary the Dead Body Expert were bored, so we figured we'd put on a soccer tournament.
Oh, sure, yeah. I love when you guys do that.
So Zott partially sponsored it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Gabaro was cool enough to put some money toward that. So I was zooming around in a Zott-sponsored golf cart all weekend.
Get out of here. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Does it have Zott, like, stickers on the side?
We had it decked out with, like, signs on the side and then the back.
So did you provide the golf cart or did they?
The tournament provided the golf cart, so we rented the golf cart
Gotcha.
and put the signs on through
Nice.
his sponsorship. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you
was
take
cool.
the governor off the thing? Were you cooking?
No, I didn't.
Ah.
Yeah,
I would have.
I didn't want to fuck with it. Too much money. Too much money on the deposit.
Yeah. By the way, that tweet that E referenced there, I don't know. I've got Huma Abedin's Twitter up.
Okay.
She's got 41,000 followers, and it looks
why
like,
wouldn't you follow Huma Abedin? I mean,
yeah, right. I don't see a tweet from her unless I'm looking in the wrong place since June 6th of this year. And then, July 6th of this year.
There was an article in the New York Times that's posted today. It says Anthony Weiner and Huma Abedin to separate after his latest sexting scandal. So I don't know.
Maybe it's true, but I don't. Usually when they quote someone's Twitter feed in a news story, they quote that actual person's. It's not shared or from some guy at MSNBC.
Yeah.
Like they would, even if that guy shared it, it would be a screenshot of her
If New York Times is saying they're separated, though, they're very likely separated.
Yeah.
Whether she tweeted it or not.
Yeah. Totally. I guess she could have just set a statement out. Yeah, that makes sense.
3 strikes and you're out, ween job.
I guess. Wow.
That'd be hard to live with, man. That'd be hard to get over. Because
Well,
you imagine all the apologies that would go into that. Oh my gosh, I felt so disrespected. I felt so embarrassed. You watch that movie and you can just see the embarrassment and the fact that this guy isn't getting out of that race to like alleviate that from his wife was criminal. I mean, he's just so selfish. You could just see it. But they have had to have gone through all of these conversations. Never do it again. I'm so sorry. This and that. And for it to happen a third time, holy shit, in such a public way.
Yeah, and being so public is what's so. But you would think that every time you would take your social media away from yourself. Like, I can't trust
Right.
myself. Like, how many times can you go in front of the camera and go, I just want to publicly apologize to my family for what I've done to them, and to my wife, who I love tremendously. I've spent the last year in therapy working on myself and working through this. And, he's done that a couple times where, and I don't mean to pass judgment on the guy, but it just seems like, dude, what's going on in your fucking head that now, a third time now, while by the way, probably guaranteed the biggest moment in his wife's life.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even be unselfish enough to like, okay, let's wait till November before I start fucking around on like, once she's elected and my wife's got this job, whatever, but she's in the middle of a race right now, and you can't not send dick pics to random chicks you don't know.
A psych would have a field day on this guy.
Yeah.
They really would. And that's an overused phrase. I think people say that, oh my gosh, psychiatrists would have a field day.
Yeah.
Dude, really, if you watch this movie and you watch it closely and you watch the interaction, you watch what's happening in this guy's life and what's at stake, I'm sure a psychiatrist could sit down and go, yep, that, and that. It probably just screams to them. This guy is mentally screwed up.
Yeah, it has to be something about like the ego, like going out publicly and having people listen to your words and rally behind you has to be very powerful. It has to be right? when you go out there and a crowd gathers and it's like, I'm gonna do, like
Right, I know.
the politician thing. It must be something that's so powerful he can't avoid that limelight. That's all I can think, because it'd be one thing if he was in a room with these chicks and it's like, he's just a horn dog and he's fucking all these girls,
right,
like Clinton would do. Clinton just fucked them all. He didn't care. He didn't give a shit what his lesbian wife thought. He was fucking all those chicks. But with this guy, it's like, dude, you're not even busted. And like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, let's take a quick time out. I got Mariah Carey's hot sister.
Mariah Carey, God, I haven't thought about her in a while.
Yeah, I think she's with some billionaire dude now. She broke up with that other dude, Nick Cannon.
Really? She broke up with. Can't believe it. I thought those guys were going to make it forever.
Yeah,
For
so did
sure.
I. Yeah, I think she glommed onto some billionaire, but she's worth a shitload of money.
Good
anyways.
for Mariah. She deserves it.
Her sister's doing well.
Oh, good.
You glad to know?
Quite well.
Yeah, life with the HIV is fun.
Oh, no!
Wow.
Oh.
Prostituting with the HIV.
Oh,
even
shit.
more fun.
Oh.
Yeah. We'll get to that and more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zod Ford in Holly. You want to lease the #1 selling vehicle in America for 35 years running and the #1 selling pickup truck for 39 years in a row? Well, then today is your lucky day. Right now at Zod Ford, we're leasing new 16 Ford F-150 Super Cab 4x4s at only $169 a month. You heard right. The best-selling pickup truck in America is only $169, and it's only at Zod Ford. Check out our dominating deals and massive inventory at ZotFord.com.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay and Big E. Oh, a few things to do yet. Today, E printed out a story about a...
Wait, E did this? E did something?
Yeah,
Huh.
he did. He's like, dude, I think you might like this story.
I was worried that I might have to start actually producing stuff, so I started looking at the internet again.
You didn't know if I was coming in today.
Yeah, I didn't know. So
Yeah.
I might have to work or something. Very
Yeah.
stressful. Very stressful when you're not here.
E was fucking not in a good way, dude. You should have seen him. This little son of a bitch is just, dude, yeah, this is hard.
I'd get a few people that would tweet or something, and I'm like, no, good job for helping or whatever. And I'm like, I don't want all this pressure, this responsibility.
Yeah, E did not have a good week. Well, what's going on today? I mean, what are we doing? I mean, it's like, I don't know. E. Anyway, so he did print a single story.
Yeah, it looks, paragraph and a half or something?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, found it on his own. It's interesting, though. It's a study out of UNLV. This will be shocking to most people. They found that students perform better if their teacher's hot. Yeah. A simple experiment. College students listened to an audio lecture while viewing a photo of the instructor. There were two photos, one of a hot chick or one of a hot person, and then someone who's gross. How would you like to be the gross model for that?
It's like when people go on those acting calls, It's
Right.
like, yeah, we need a shit-faced, paste-eating, gross chick, to play this. I'm like, I'm here for the paste eater.
I always think about that, dude. Like the old people, oh, we need a 90-year-old crank, or oh, we need a 400-pounder.
You're not a hounder.
Because when you're in a movie and there's a joke is that somebody's 300 pounds.
I know. I always
That's a
thought that
person.
with What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Yeah.
Where it's like, here's a woman who's been cast in this role.
Morbidly obese, anyone.
We're looking for literally won't fit into a car to play role. And you get that part. I don't know what the casting call is like for, it's got to be on one hand nice. Like, oh my God, I got the job. I'm going to get paid for this photo shoot. And it's like, yeah, well, you're basically paying the before picture before the workout. It is, dude. And it sucks knowing that I'd be the before picture nowadays. It's tough, but so that's the experiment they did. And after listening to the audio, the students then took a test. Those who thought the teacher was attractive did better than those
I can
with
see
the
that,
ugly
yeah.
one. In addition, the attractive instructor was said to get better reviews than the less attractive one.
Oh, it's just the way she
about
explained it. Everything was
Everything
more
just
clear.
flowed. In summary, this study found further support for the power that physical attractiveness has over human person perception. This study also found that physical attractiveness has the power to influence learning tasks. This indicates that physical attractiveness may actually play a previously overlooked role in classroom learning. That's interesting, man. So what does that mean? Should we, are you doing children
Move
a
out all the
disservice?
bags. Yeah, move out all the bags and get, hot 22 years old. But then you have the problem with the toys. You bring
Yeah.
that whole element into it.
I think the thing that they found too was that it wasn't just hot chicks. It could be like an attractive guy would fare better as well. Saying so, they're in conclusion, they would say it's not just about reproduction or just guys lusting over a chick. It's just more good looking people in general.
We've done the whole thing, the stories about the studies of hiring.
Yeah.
It's all, of course. Everybody's drawn either subliminally or otherwise to attractiveness.
Yeah, taller people get better jobs and more money. Mm-hmm. It sucks. It sucks for the rest of us. Bullshit. Something you guys don't understand. Do you see we lost a triathlete?
Oh, no.
Yeah, local one too.
What happened?
From Ann Arbor. Well, what do you think happened? It's
Got hit by a car?
Of course. Again, one of the most dangerous sports on the planet. Running, cycling.
Was he biking or running at the
It
time?
was a she. Oh yeah, that's a good question. Triathlete. I don't know if she was swimming down the road or cycling
I wasn't
or
gonna
running.
ask that.
I think she was cycling. 7-time world champion. Yeah, Karen McKeechee from Ann Arbor. Isn't that terrible?
Yes.
She was on her bike near Chelsea on Friday night, was hit by another vehicle. The 63-year-old elite athlete died at the scene. She She had won the U.S. national championships 17 times and is believed.
63?
Yep. And is believed to be the
You're not a hot
is believed to be the oldest woman to win a triathlon, taking home the title when she was 58 years old.
Ooh.
That's incredible, man.
Seriously.
No one's been arrested. They're giving very little details at this point about what happened.
Can you imagine performing at a high level athletically at 58?
I can't imagine it at 38.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I
Yeah.
mean, imagine how you feel right now, right?
Oh, I pulled the muscle.
Yeah, you pulled that
Pulling a
weed.
weed.
Are you better now?
Dude, I'm still bothered by
while,
it's
yeah.
better. It's better. I don't want to
What was
complain.
What was the diagnosis? Total pussydom?
Yeah.
Your pussy hurts.
Yeah, vagine
Yeah.
aches. Whatever you want to call it. My nemesis is still out there, by the way.
Come on, man.
I don't want to snip it and I don't want to pull it. I don't feel like I have the what is the
E,
strength?
let's go out
I
there
don't
and
have the
pull it after
Staring,
this.
it must just be staring you down. You
I
see
walk
it every day.
I walk out there and I'm like, you fucking son of a bitch. I see you. I see what you're doing.
That
And
would
he's just
honestly
like,
kill me. I
Dude,
couldn't do that.
It is. And I'm like, you just wait. Give me 2 more days. I need 48 more hours until I heal properly.
Yeah.
And then when
48
once
hours
I,
from when? From now?
from like or yesterday I was thinking
Okay.
that. Yesterday I was thinking, give me 2 days, you son of a bitch. Once my core strength is
Sure,
back,
yeah.
and I can get down in there, I'm gonna fucking rip you up by the roots.
Been planking like crazy, right? Increase that core.
Oh, that hurt more just screaming.
Dude, that would kill me having it staring at me after going through that. Not because it hurt me and I'd be mad at it staring at me, but because I didn't like finish that.
I know.
I have like this weird like once you start like
You know what sucks too? I have the same. I know that compulsion you're talking about. What sucks too is it was starting to give way when it happened, and so
do you
it
want me
was
to
like,
go grab it?
Sort of. I wanted you to go grab it a week ago when I was doubled over in pain.
Yeah,
and
but
you
then
were
we
like,
went on vacation, which apparently you guys didn't get the memo for.
Yeah, right.
I can't believe you guys showed up all last week and did shows.
I know.
Have anything else
Dude,
going
I
on?
was
I feel
wondering
like a
why my
real heel
phone was
right now.
blowing up.
I'm feeling like a real heel right now.
Yeah.
I kind of feel.
I wish I would have gone on a trip.
I'm
Yeah.
rested. I feel
feel
spry.
great. You look great.
Ah.
Your toes look amazing. We saw those earlier.
See my tan.
Yeah, you're tanned up.
Just
Yeah, that's
relaxed.
good.
You know, speaking of the most dangerous sport, by the way, did you notice we had an amazing situation? American winning the 10-miler at the Crim this weekend in Flint.
No shit.
First time in 2 decades.
I didn't think
Oh,
it was
nice.
possible. I
Yeah,
just
I-
didn't.
I forget-
I've been following the Crim for years, and I just didn't think it was
Really?
possible for an American to win that. Yeah.
No,
I was
you know what?
shocked.
I don't know. I always thought it was David Ritzenheim, but I'm looking at this. It's
It is
D-A-T-H
Ritzenheim.
I know his last name's Ritzenheim.
Yeah, yeah.
but
Oh,
it's
yeah. I've been following him for years.
D-A-T-H-A-N. I don't know how to pronounce that as a name.
A-T-H-E-N.
I always thought his name was
Dachinhim.
I always thought it was David Ritzenheim, but whatever.
Dachim. Yeah, he's huge. Guy's a
The
He
big
actually
one.
is. He's
Absolute
a
beast.
he's a 3-time Olympian, but
In that
I
instance,
know.
the TH forms a Dechin.
It's more of a chim.
Anyway.
The chim. The chim.
I was just gonna say. I was
Say
That's
it, E.
remarkable. E has been tracking the U.S. success in long distance running over the last month, and he
I'm
is
really
impressed.
getting into it. I
Yeah.
am. That's
Yeah.
a big deal.
He
First time
thinks
in
the
2
worm
decades.
is turned.
You think you could run the Kim one day?
Crim.
The Crim. Yeah.
He's
I
run the
could run
Crim.
it. No, I've never have done
Oh,
the Crim,
really?
actually.
I did actually run that once. It's very hilly.
Yeah, it's not.
for
it's
the
not
for the
supposed to be
lay,
an
I
easy run.
obviously know what the Crim is, but for the new listener,
It's a
who might
run in
not-
Flint, 10
Yeah.
miler.
Well, no, I
obviously.
know that.
Well, they
I
do
was
stuff
hoping you could
and
explain it to
now
the
they
audience.
Now they do a bunch of different. I think they do a bunch of different miles of run. I think
really?
the 10 is the big one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a big deal when I heard. I actually didn't know the Crim was this weekend, but I heard it on the way home. This
Fascinating.
I don't. Well,
Good for Dachim.
Yeah, the Chem.
I
Chem.
think it ran against.
Is it
Ritzenheim.
possibly just a freaking typo and it's David?
It must be, dude, because I swear to God,
It's David.
D-A-T-H-E-N.
I don't know, dude. I don't know, but
Thank you for that, E.
okay.
Um,
I would
anyway.
never have brought it up if you hadn't brought up.
No, I'm glad you
bike
did.
lane,
I'm
honestly.
I'm glad you did.
Don't step over Karen McKeechie's story. Ian.
Yeah.
We
Local 10-mile races are, primary on our
Dime a
listeners.
dozen. Yeah. Karen McKeechie from Ann Arbor, Michigan, again, was inducted into the triathlon. I didn't know there was a USA
Triathlon.
triathlon.
Triathlon. She's a triathlete.
She's a triathlete.
Triathlete.
Stop it.
You're adding a syllable, you son of a bitch.
triathlete.
Triathlete.
4 syllables. Triathlete. Triathlete. Yeah.
Is she an athlete? She's
Yes.
an athlete.
She's
you
a
son of
spectacular
a bitch.
athlete. You're right. She was 17-time
Yeah.
world champion. She's a tremendous athlete. She was inducted into the U.S. Triathlon Hall of Fame in 2014. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Does she wear spandex?
And the hat,
I'll betcha.
the helmet
I'll
thing.
betcha. Yeah.
I don't know if it's
She's
pointy on
shaving
the back.
time. She's shaving time. I give her that.
For her, I'll give her that.
Yes.
She's when you're at that level, you are shaving time.
By the way, we had a listener send me an image of a triathlete singlet that he wore in a recent race, not a local race. He's out west, but he had our Detroit Cast logo on it.
Get out of
Yeah.
here. Really?
Said even though you sons of bitches talk shit about bikers and all that, it's on there.
Oh, good for him.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
I think we've been on a race car.
We've been on
Motorcycle.
a Canon.
Yeah.
Our logo's on a Canon.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of cool, though. I respect that. If
Yeah.
someone, a triathlete wants to get out there.
Damn it!
What?
Triathlete.
I said that's what I said. So she was a 7-time triathlon world champ, 17-time national champ, triathlon overall triathlete of the year in 99, the only 40-plus female to receive that honor.
Ah! You're not a hamburger.
The Masters Triathlete of the Year in 2000. It's believed to be the oldest athlete, 58 years, to outright win a major triathlon.
So somebody bumped her off.
No. Oh, on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought you meant about her credentials or
That
her
really
awards.
sucks, man.
That's brutal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. God, that's different level shit. So, yeah, our thoughts and prayers to the family for sure.
I've definitely just been wrong about this guy's name my whole time. So whatever. But
It
I
was
don't know.
never David. It's Dachim.
Yeah, however you pronounce that, that's how it is. So
Let me see what you're looking
Congratulations to Dachim.
at. Dothan Ritzheim.
Okay. Hey, David Helm. He wants to remind you that nobody can do what they do. Helm Law is a full-service law firm built on the model of providing the best legal services to its clients throughout Michigan. So if you enjoy making love behind dumpsters with random women, or if you let your children run wild at the zoo, call Helm Law at 248-679-8804 or go online at helmlawpc.com. They offer free consultations. If you tell them you support the Detroit Cast, you'll get 15% off.
Well, if Mariah Carey's sister is listening right now, she should definitely call David Helm. She could use some representation.
What'd she do?
She needs a lawyer, and she needs one now. Well, she allegedly offered an undercover cop some sexual favors. Yeah. Allison Carey, 55 years old, was operating as a prostitute out of a hotel in upstate New York when she was caught. The cops had been tipped off by a series of advertisements that she'd been placing in the adult section of some unnamed local zines, websites.
Nice.
One of her advertisements read, "I'm a pretty lady looking for guys who are looking to have some fun and get into a world of pleasure that other women just can't provide to you." TWO. Provide to you. Interesting. I wouldn't have... you want to add the double O, you want to just
There's
go
some
TO.
kind of play on the number there.
Yeah. I think it's a... I don't want to declare false advertising. When she says she's a pretty lady...
Oh, shit.
I'm just saying.
God damn it.
Who's taking that offer?
She's
Poor
at her
thing.
worst.
Yeah, I guess. She's been at her worst for a long time. Police are now advising those who banged her to go to their doctors ASAP. She does have the HIV.
He's got AIDS.
I didn't give her those AIDS. Especially if you bang this thing unprotected. If
And
you
when
did,
he had those AIDS, I went to my synagogue and I prayed for him.
in March.
What has he done? Can you tell me? Big Magic Johnson, what has he done?
She posted a video. I think we talked about this at the time. I have some vague recollection of this, where she was like begging her sister for help.
I remember other celebrities being begged for help by family members, but not her in particular.
Yeah, I think she's had a long feud fallout.
That's got to be a bummer, man.
Yeah.
It's like, who knows what Mariah did in the past for her? You can never like dig somebody an adult completely out of everything. They need to make their own adult decisions.
Yeah.
But of course, this story reflects like, oh my God, how does Mariah Carey let her sister become that?
Well, we saw it more recently and locally with Eminem and was it Kim's sister? Did she die?
Yes.
And people were like, "Why wouldn't Eminem help her? Why would they have the
Who knows what they
means?"
did before?
Dude, and that's the thing that you'll see, because this has been in the tabloids and been going on for decades. I think this what was her name? Allison Carey. I think she was a hooker when
Mariah hit
was
it big?
before she hit it big. And there are plenty of reports that Mariah has like paid for rehab, paid for a home, paid for cars, paid for education, paid. I think she took her kids in at one point and put them through college, and one of
Yeah.
them's a lawyer now. Like all those things, and I still see people commenting like, "This is bullshit. You're worth $500 million. Why wouldn't you help your sister out? It's family." And it's like, yeah, it is, and you should help family, but at some point,
You can't blame Mariah or her big fake titties.
Yeah, Mariah's I don't even like Mariah either.
Don't you see a little bit of her in the sister though? Like
It's the forehead.
the
Which one is
eyes or
Mariah?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Is it worth it at some point to go like, here's $10 million. I don't want to read about you in the papers anymore. Just stop prostituting. Just
No,
get.
no, you can't do that.
You can't do that. Would that not work? Would she burn through it? You think?
I reckon.
Yeah.
Hey, remember, so if you've been dirt-faced, call Helm Law at 248-679-8804 or go online at helmlawpc.com to set up your free consultation. Tell them you support the Detroit Cast. You'll receive 15% off.
I need an attorney, and I need one now.
Should we get to some email, Jay? How are we doing on email?
We do have some email, Mike. Josh writes in. He wrote that. Jay.
Right. Got it.
But he actually wrote that whole. Yeah.
No, I got it. He wrote that.
He did. They're starting to play games.
I see what they're doing.
They're playing games.
They're being cute, and you're falling for it.
It's game playing. It's gamesmanship.
Nothing that says you have to read it, but whatever.
After having a life burden a few weeks ago, I've fallen a few episodes behind. You guys have been talking about annoying commercials. Been waiting every day for someone to mention the 2 worst commercials on TV today. Mike Morris's horrible commercial, 855 Mike wins, go for the win. I am not familiar with that.
Ugh.
Is it a
855 Mike wins, go for the win?
really?
I couldn't understand it for the long. Now see if you can find that one, the Mike Morse jingle. It's annoying as shit. I couldn't tell what it said for the longest time.
Oh, that's not good.
They started finally putting in the go for the win, and I think that might be part of his phone number now too.
If you're going to be annoying as shit, you at least have to implant your name clearly, right?
Oh, it's the first
Like,
rule.
O'Reilly,
Riley.
you know.
It's
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's the first rule of thumb when it's the biggest mistake people make when they try to do parody songs or funny songs, and they're not understandable. You have to make sure that if you've got a jingle trying to sell people or be funny, you have to make it so that people can understand it. That was the biggest problem I had with the Mike Morse.
Do you have that one, E?
855 Mike wins, go for the win.
This is just kind of at the end where I think it goes.
Okay, let's see.
Biggest settlements. Call for the real advantage. 855 Mike wins.
So yeah, that's not.
These are real people who call them.
Oh, we didn't have the benefit of the jingle.
Let me go to, yeah.
I was familiar with what he looked like, E, but thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
We've talked to his sister.
We have. Mm-hmm. Sex therapist Emily Morse.
Yep. Who's in some of his commercials.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, she is.
Also, Josh mentions the Menards. You save big money. You save big money when you shop Menards. These are everywhere, bar none. Worst jingles on TV today. See, I thought it was, you save big money at Menards. I don't remember the extra, but maybe I'm wrong.
I pass it all the time when Beth and I are going out to like a family's.
Is that like growing here in Michigan, Menards? Like it used to be, you'd see it in other states and shit. Is that something that's now?
All I know is you save big money there, but I'm not sure what they even do.
Is it like a Walmart or something?
Is
Or
it? See,
or
I
is
was thinking it was
Home
like a
Depot?
hardware store.
Yeah,
No,
maybe
it's
it is.
kind of, yeah, it's more like that. More
Okay.
like a Home Depot.
Do you have their jingle, Lee?
Save big money at Menards.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of TV stuff.
Your home with Sylvania light bulbs last up to 20 lighting. The
Yeah, I don't care about the light
Monarch
bulbs. I want the jingle.
$9. Save big money at Menards.
Yeah, I could see that grating on you, you know? It doesn't bother me as much as others.
I'm so immature. I don't understand how 2 stores, and Menards is one of them, because I just always just think of Nards as in a dick joke, and Dick's Sporting Goods. Like, I just always cannot contemplate working there and having to say, like, Dick's all the time and not laugh at it.
Hello, Dicks. Yeah, that's.
I
we were
can't-
way beyond the point that everybody knew Dick meant Dick. You know,
Yeah.
you can't blame an old man. He's 85 years old. He goes by Dick. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
Here's how to help me.
can't blame him. When he grew up, Dick wasn't Dick.
Yeah.
But now, come on, Dick's Dick. You can't
What's
name a
the
big store
origin
about
of
it.
that?
Fuck.
You know what? I don't
Who
know.
knows?
I've never known. I'd have to look it up.
Only we had a Google machine. Don writes in,
But
dear
was
Captain.
was cunt always? Did that come into the main?
Yeah, I think somebody looked at it and went, "That's a cunt."
Yeah, but like I'm shocked. I read a story today about a woman who robbed a boyfriend of like millions of dollars in jewelry. Some millionaire dating this skank, and he's got video cameras in his room of her beating herself up and trying to claim.
Oh well.
Yeah, like that. She's like, oh my god, he was so abusive. He's so
He has
abusive.
video of her beating herself
And she's
up,
just-
like a fight club situation.
Yeah, she's laying on the
Wow.
bed, and then he accused her
Spoiler.
of taking a. Yeah, sorry, don't ruin it for everyone. Of stealing a bunch of jewelry he'd amassed, and so he's suing her for $4 million, and her name is something Hunt. And I went, I wonder if her brother's Mike. I wonder if her brother Mike would be how he feels about this. And then as I read further on in the story, her mother Mary and father Michael.
God damn it!
I'm like,
No way.
Who names a kid?
Yeah.
And of course he's trying. He's going by Michael.
Yeah.
I see what he's doing.
It's the same as if your last name is Hat. Why would you Mike Hat?
Right.
Why would you do that?
You have to then go by Michael. You're left
I
no
think
choice.
you have to go by
but-
your middle name. You have to go M. Scott Hunt. Seriously.
You can't be a Mike.
You got to
Hunt.
be one of those assholes.
Yeah.
R. Jonathan Hunt.
You can be other names that end in K even, but you can't be a Mike. You can't be my cunt.
No.
It's the my cunt part that's like, oh my God, you're actually a cunt. That's hilarious.
Can't do that.
But if she's 25, let's say her parents had kids late in life at 40, so they're 65. 65 years ago, was my cunt not a thing?
It had to have been a joke back then.
Right?
Had to have been.
Just don't get it.
Come on, parents.
Yeah,
Think before you name. Think.
This is not rocket science. If your last name is Hunt, you cannot name a child Michael. Period.
Or if your last name's Hat.
Or Hat, yes. The Hat family struggle with that too.
No, it's my cat.
Well, who's watching you? My cat? Who's my cat? No, my cat. The funny thing is, you actually thought he was talking about a gentleman named Mike Hat.
I asked him that question. Who's Mike Hat?
No, my cat. Wasn't that the guy that
That
was
was the masturbatory clown thing.
Yeah.
The Ojibwe. Don writes in,
one of my favorite calls, by the way.
It went on for like 80 minutes, but
Yeah.
yeah. Don writes in, Dear Captain Sweatpants, King Dong, and Adderall Sniffer. In this episode, this is episode 649 he's referring to. In this episode, Mike and E spilled the beans. You all have side gigs to pay the bills. I apologize that the king is working the street corner to make ends meet, but I am sure the senior ladies enjoy the footlong that doesn't spit dust like the senior men used to do. I will this payday buy stuff from the Amazon link, Amazon. Besides, it's a fun excuse to buy something. Also, hitting the donate button, the amount will end in 69. God knows we don't want E's soap budget to take a worse hit than it has. Yes, that brings me to
Amazon.
Please use it. Please use our link on DetroitCast.com. It's a great way to donate to the show.
We appreciate it.
Keep buying, man. Jimmy writes in, hello, King, Kool-Aid Man, and Dirty Bleached Hole. Long-time listener.
Man.
Just got done listening to 648. Just wanted to chime. See, I didn't think 648 happened. I thought we were on vacation then.
Yeah,
But
right.
this was 648.
Right.
Just wanted to chime in with a question after hearing how the show was without Jay. No offense to
Oh,
Mike.
no.
Look what he had to work with after listening. Why doesn't Jay have his own fucking appreciation holiday?
Stop it. I thought I deleted that email.
I'm not even joking when I say that E sounds like a goddamn mink screaming. I work on a mink farm, and sometimes I don't know what the scream is, Big E or a mink eating another mink. Sorry for the rant. I just wanted to say, Jay, my man, you were missed by a 23-year-old Nova Scotia listener. Well, thank you, Jimmy.
Wow. Jimmy's in Nova Scotia listening?
Farming minks.
Wow. That can't be
Minks
real.
need to be farmed.
Dude, that's awesome. I want photos. And I apologize. E even apologizes. E knows his role.
I do not apologize.
E, did you perform poorly?
I'm not.
Do we need another note into the personnel file?
Well-
You son of a bitch, E.
Fuck that dude. I'm not saying shit. I'm not apologizing for shit.
I'll say this in E's defense. He tried his best. Right, E? You
Sure.
did.
Yes, of course.
Take the compliment, E. Most people don't give you compliments like I do.
Sure.
E tried his best.
Sure.
You're
Nick-
welcome, by the way.
Nick writes in concerning floating caskets. Of course, this refers to the Louisiana flood. In reference to the caskets that are floating around in the streets, I have 8 years' experience working in a cemetery. I don't know how the really old caskets were, but caskets made today have glass tubes with paperwork on the deceased person. If you look at the modern casket, you will see that there are knobs at the foot of the casket. They unscrew and a glass bulb comes out with papers inside of them.
I think this email was read last week.
God damn you!
I think I read one email last week, and that might have
Dude,
been it.
he read 2. In one of our shows, Mike read 2 emails.
That's a great email, by the way.
We'll fix it in post.
No, we won't. I didn't realize we were on vacation last week.
It's informative.
There's a lot of listeners who probably went, oh, guess who's not there? Delete, and they just dumped out anyway, so they probably didn't hear it.
So should I finish it?
You can finish it, sure. I thought it was a very informative email. I didn't know that.
I was being informed as I was reading it. I was very impressed. The information I was receiving.
Yeah.
There are at the foot of the casket these little screws. Glass bulb comes out with papers inside. They should be intact and waterproof. They could possibly even be a cemetery location, but certainly their name. I hope you guys find comfort in this. Forever yours.
Yeah.
I do have a modicum of comfort from that. Hopefully they can find their way back to the cemetery that they belong to.
Yeah, that they
that's
came
that's
from.
a very grim story to think about caskets just floating around.
It was a terrible story to watch. Seeing those caskets floating down the water. You can't have caskets. You can't bury it 6 feet underground in a place that's...
I said it before, and I'll say it really is a commercial for
mausoleum tombs.
Fucking
yeah, I know
cremation.
Yeah,
really. I mean, can we just all kind of move that way? Cremation. I think I read we are. I think as a population,
are we?
People are moving that way.
It has always, not to be disrespectful, but it has always seemed like a tremendous waste of land.
Yeah.
To have cemeteries set up where...
You know what? I always think that, again, not to be disrespectful either, but you drive through some of these nicer parts of town and you're like, wow, I bet some developer could have fucking killed on that corner.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
No pun intended.
But it's not like we're just chucking bodies in the river if we don't do that. I mean, you can still have a nice... It would just take a fraction
Put it
of
on your
the
hearth.
space.
Put it on your mantle.
Yeah.
A nice shelf for grandma.
There you go. Keep Nana close.
Joe writes in, thanks for bringing up Staley. Miguel, apparently you talked about Lane Staley. Did you guys do a show or something?
That might have been while you were still here.
Lane
I was talking
Staley.
about Lane Staley.
Well, you do from time to time, so maybe
Yeah.
you're right. I'm 32 years old, and I think he was probably the best rock singer in the last 25-year period. His story is horrible, and the dude was so damn talented. I wish I could hear him sing today. Listen to Lane with the girls from Heart. Ring them bells. Dude is a legend and the lead for my favorite band. Nice to see that you recognize the talent, Joe.
Oh, recognize the talent. I could argue that Lane Staley was the best singer of that entire generation.
Miguel has always reported this. He's whacked off.
I swear to God, Lane Staley, that voice, it's haunting on a level I can't even explain. I think it's so good, so strong, so powerful. Even in the haziest of hazed fucked up that guy could be, he could absolutely pound it out.
Mike has
Humongous
goosebumps
voice.
right now.
I do.
He has goosebumps.
I can watch that the Unplugged, Alice in Chains Unplugged, and when Lane's got his glasses on, and he's sitting down,
glasses,
and he lifts his glasses, and his eyes are just fucked. You can tell he's fucked up, and he opens his mouth and just,
voice of an angel.
oh my God, dude, absolutely crushes it. And you're just like, wow, where does that even come from? So yeah, that story is so sad to me. The Lane Staley story. I never got to see him live. So one of the few that it's like, fuck, I'd give anything to see him live, and I never got the chance.
Well, Joe agrees with you.
Yeah.
Vincent.
You don't.
I mean, Vincent writes in. Vincent is one of my former roommates. I've recently been tuning into the show and love listening to you guys. I think it's because I actually know the references you guys make about the old days, and it's nice to hear. So you know Vinny.
I
obviously.
definitely know Vinny. He's one of the most solid dudes I remember from high school.
Very solid. I lived with Vinny at State, and I lived with him during law school for a time.
Super good dude.
Anyway, the reason for this
Unlike
out of the
the rest
blue
of 'em.
email, so basically enough of the pleasantries.
Yeah.
Enough of sucking
Oh,
your
no.
guys' cock about how great the show is.
Right.
Now here's where I request something.
Oh, no.
You know, okay, I haven't talked to Vinny in a long time, so this is where he gets into his request. or his offer, as you may view it. My father-in-law has been trying to bring a product to market for a while now. He's trying to get the word out. My wife, Lisa, has been helping him as well. He has invented the world's first odorless toilet. Yes, that's right, the odorless toilet. He has been selling them for about 2 years and working on the big toilet companies to either license them or sell them the patent. Dude, it totally works, too. I was thinking if you guys would be willing to let him install a toilet or two at your studio, then you guys could do an ad or two on the show. He's looking to trade services out, and I assure you, you will not be disappointed. This might have legs.
Wow.
It's called the Serenity Airflow Odorless Toilet.
Serenity now!
My wife came up with the tagline, "Everyone has to go, no one needs to know." Here's the link to check it out. Yeah, isn't that?
That's a great tagline.
Lisa, well done.
Yeah.
I personally think this will change the stigma of someone destroying a bathroom while people are waiting, or just common courtesy to friends and family, says Vinny.
Do you need to courtesy? Is it all about the courtesy flush, or are you just like...
It sounds like you don't need the courtesy flush. It's an
Well-
odorless toilet, Mike.
Wait a minute.
I can't explain it.
I
I
you
read the
can't-
same thing you heard.
Listen, I'm not up for magic potions here, dude. I know what's going on. Are we going into a capsule, the shit that's airtight? What's going on?
Do you sense snake oil?
I'm not sensing snake oil, but only because I know Vinny so well. And
He
I
wouldn't do
don't
that to
think
us.
he would peddle that.
He
I don't
would not
picture
do that.
him as that
no,
guy.
No. He would not bother us with this.
You didn't think he trolled through town in a horse and buggy wagon?
Get your odorless toilet here.
You need
Step
to go,
right up.
but no one needs to know. And he's got a whole fucking display thing that opens up and
then he puts them in the whole town, then bugs the hell out of there. Go on now, get.
steals all their money and runs.
No, that's not Vinny's way.
I wouldn't peg him that way,
No.
but I haven't talked to him in a long time. Maybe he's changed his way.
I don't know his father-in-law, but I would venture to say that Vinny would not be peddling this. Now, the question is, do we go for 2 or 1?
Well, 2, obviously.
I think it's the whole toilet, though. When I first read this, I'm thinking like toilet seat. Oh, yeah, throw a toilet seat on, whatever. It's the whole toilet, dude.
I could use a new toilet.
Well, I was bitching about the pink one that you make me sit on in my bathroom.
Yeah.
Why don't we change that one out?
Yeah, because that one, I've caught wind of.
Should we go 3 of them, maybe?
Sure. I mean, I've got 1, 2, 3, at least 3 toilets in this house.
Yeah, he destroys the one up there in the hallway.
Yeah, he gets the little girl one, the powder room one.
Son of a bitch isn't allowed in this one.
King's got his own throne area.
Yeah.
And then I
Which,
have
by the
my
way,
area.
if somebody could clean up a little bit, the whole bathroom is untidy.
No one's been in there except you. You're the only one in there. I want to know more about how this works.
Well, there's a link here. We can go to serenityairflow.com and check it out.
All right.
So, Vinny, hopefully you're still listening.
Yep.
Bring him over.
He might have been on vacation with the show last week, so
Right.
he wouldn't know. Anyway, yeah, that's interesting. I'm definitely interested to hear more.
Well, we've
All right.
gone long. Let's save the rest for tomorrow.
Okay, we'll do that. Thanks everybody for hanging with us. Welcome back, Jay.
Thank you.
And check us out. We'll be on IT and the D tonight, the podcast. So I believe they're live at 9:00. So check us out there, and I'm sure we'll be talking about it tomorrow at some point. So we'll see you guys then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.